right, joining us right now from Washington, D.C., my good friend Frank Gaffney. Frank, are you there?
I am here. And
there
God
you
bless
are.
you all for what you're doing.
Did you see Victoria do her handstand?
I did, and I was just holding my breath.
I know.
The whole scene was just unbelievable.
But it just goes to show you what any of us will do under any given circumstance, if it's the right one, to support our military men and women.
Well, and look at Frank. It looks like he's pulled over on the side of the road in a car to talk to us tonight.
That's pretty much the case. Sorry about the sort of ghoulish setting, but this is where I am.
No, but this, I mean, you pulled over to do it, right? You had to do it.
You know, and by the way, we should mention that Frank is coming to us live via Skype, and it's about 11 o'clock, almost 11 o'clock on the East Coast. So thank you. You're up late.
Well, I am up late for me, but I'm actually in Denver, Colorado at the moment, so it's not quite as late around me.
Well, we're glad to hear that. All right, tell us what you've been up to and why it's important for us to get this message out about supporting our troops.
Well, Melanie, we had a chance to talk about this a little bit earlier on my radio program, Secure Freedom Radio, and the timing of this activity is so, I don't know, providential, I guess, because I've got to believe that there are a lot of American troops around the world, and most especially in Afghanistan, who are a little concerned today about what President Obama has decided to do in terms of drawing down what he thinks of as kind of a phased withdrawal. But I must tell you, I fear, and I think probably a lot of the folks on the ground in Afghanistan would fear, is really a phased surrender of Afghanistan to our enemies. And so letting these guys know that they're not being taken for granted, that they're not being abandoned, by demonstrating through this Troopathon and through the care packages that it'll make possible, that we're with them. And we value the sacrifices that they've been making, and we treasure their lives, not gratuitously expending them. I think just is an incredibly important message to send at an incredibly important time. So I salute you. Needless to say, I salute them, and I'm glad to be part of it.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Frank, and God bless you. It is such a tremendous honor to have been on your show today and to have you on this show tonight.
Yeah, well, it's turnabout as fair play, I guess, as they say. But,
well,
I think we're covering some important stuff here, and again, I think people who are thinking about contributing, as you said a moment ago, are probably wondering about many of these issues as well. And to have this as a vehicle, not only to think about them and talk about them a bit, but also to do something about it, to demonstrate in a tangible way the importance of the mission as well as the folks executing it, I think just couldn't be more timely.
You know, Essie, I've known Frank for a while, and when I lived in Washington, D.C., he and I would chat. And I have to say, Frank, that you used to scare the hell out of me because you outlined all these various scenarios, these national security issues that all of us have to be thinking about. And if we don't, we do so at our own peril. And of course, foremost is the threat of Islamic terrorism.
Yeah. Well, you know, what we've talked about many times, Melanie, and it's worth mentioning here if we may, is what's estimating that. It's terrorism, yeah, is a big problem, and clearly we're concerned about it. We're trying to defend ourselves against it by protecting our interests and our allies and our people around the world. But we also have to worry about it here at home, obviously. There's another element of this, though, that is troubling. And it's animated by exactly the same thing as the terrorism. Those who adhere to it call it Sharia. Oh, I've just gone dark on me. Here we go. Wait a minute.
Well,
stand by.
We can still hear you.
You can hear me. Lights are out.
This is like Scary Movie, too.
It is Scary Movie, too. Let me see if I can get a...
There we go. We can see you a little bit.
Well, it's doubly ghoulish, isn't it? Let me see if I can bring up
It's like the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, well, let's just show this to Al-Qaeda and the Taliban.
Is this a great way to finish the show or what?
Perfect.
Anyway, the point I'm making is that we're dealing with people who are using terrorism where they can and are using a more stealthy kind of technique where possible to accomplish the same purpose, which is basically to destroy us. And what I think our troops need to know and what the American people need to know is we're not going to take it. We're not going to accede to it, and no matter what the president says about, trying to make peace with the Taliban, for example, and how that's all going to work out just fine, that's not going to do anything, I'm afraid, except the danger we face worse. So this message, this important opportunity tangibly to say to the folks who are on the front lines of freedom that they're valued, that they are understood to be doing incredibly important work, and that we're backing them because all of us have a stake in this, I think is just, again, a real testament to the vision that you all at Move America Forward have, and the millions of people around the country that I know are rooting for this very important enterprise. So again,
God bless you.
Thanks for letting me be part of it, and it's helped to spread the word.
All right, Frank Gaffney, we appreciate your time. He is a national foreign policy expert and has been working very hard on these issues. Frank is one of these brainiac types.
Yeah.
I mean, really sitting and having a long conversation about national security with him is a frightening experience, but